Hey, everybody, welcome back to the 10th floor. It's me, Matt.
Hi, everybody, it's Kat.
And you're here. Get out of that waiting room. Climb on into the elevator. We're going all the way up to the 10th floor. There's a lot to talk about. General Hospital this week, hard-hitting soap. Edge of your seat excitement. Who's going to live? Who's going to continue to live? Who will lie? Who will cheat? Who will steal? And who will be honest? As the weeks progress here on General Hospital. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
We'll
We'll
see.
have to see. But, while we're riding this elevator up to the 10th floor, we do have to say what a good time we just had on the channel just a few minutes ago with Remington Hoffman from Days of Our Lives. Good time.
Yeah. We were just talking to him just a few minutes ago.
I know. Just not, like a half hour ago we were chit-chatting with that guy.
Half an hour ago, yeah.
Finished off with that, which is a good time. So when you're done here, check that out. That was a good conversation about stuff, about raising kids, playing basketball, growing up in California, and working on a soap opera. Even auditioning for General Hospital once, too. A little anecdote about that.
Yes, he did, evidently.
Yeah, but it's not just us. Kaiwan is here, Melissa's here, Cindis, hello Cindis, Liz, Sandy, and Elegant have all joined us here in the chat so far. Hey, Sandra just popped in as well. She says it's time for GH fun, and you're absolutely right, Sandra. You're totally correct. It's time for GH fun. Bing, the doors have opened.
Fun times. Fun times. It's General Hospital High.
Oh my goodness. You step out onto the 10th floor, you look to the left, and you can see sitting on the benches is Finn and Elizabeth head to head going over case files, making sure that they have everything in a row. Because here it is. The time has come to defend Finn's doctorhood against the evil and ultimately terribly false accusations from one Mr. Muldoon.
This is the only part I don't like about it, Matt.
Yeah.
I actually liked it. But I'm a big old Diane Miller fan. I like Killer Miller. I think she's awesome. Ooh, Diane, I think I'm going to lose this case. First time we're ever going to see Diane lose in court.
I don't know, for the first time ever?
I don't think we've ever seen Diane lose in court.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
If I have, I just don't recall it. But she's sure going to lose this time.
Yeah. Finn's keeping his job. Nobody's getting any money. This truth is going to be revealed throughout the course of this hearing, this trial, I suppose. And then
on the backside of Martin Gray's card can say Killer Miller 0, Marty 1.
Marty 1. 1-0, Marty Gray. Oh goodness. Melissa says that Diane may wind up having to quit because they can't pay her. I guess that'll be something that comes up after, like, she starts to sue the family because they can't pay her fees.
That's funny. I hadn't thought about that. You're right. Diane got it so together. She should have already known the Muldoons didn't have no damn money. She should have known it already.
Maybe she already knows it. Maybe she's trying to help Finn.
Wouldn't that be a spin?
Wouldn't that be?
I don't think so, though.
No, I don't think so either. I think that they're both going at it, as hard as they can. But as many times as Diane and Alexis met in court, there's no way that Diane beat her every single time, right?
No, like I said, maybe she's lost the past. She
probably has. Well, Leanne says, yeah, she's lost, but she's a boss. So there you go. Diane is just a boss. That's all we got to worry about.
She is.
She is. She's commanding. She's
so
commanding.
Awesome.
Rough times with Robert, though.
Well, Diane likes Robert, but I don't think she's going to be. Well, I don't see Diane really going head over heels for anybody. But she's like, I don't know. To me, he's just more amusing than he is anything else.
I don't know. I think Diane's in her own way a smidgen here. I think that she expects Robert to exalt her in a way that he is not going to exalt anybody. There's an expectation of putting her on quite the pedestal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the only woman that is currently in your life and should ever be in your life, and nothing compares to us and me. Is I think what she's really after, and I'm not. You know, she's not going
Oh,
to be
she'll never get
Robert's.
that.
She's not going to be the love of Robert's life,
No.
and I think that's what she's hoping to have with somebody.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, yeah, I think that Holly's probably wound up being Robert's the love of his life.
Hmm?
I wouldn't even say Anna. I think they're much better friends than.
No, Anna's more like a family member now.
Besides, you know, when Holly came back, Robert and Anna they couldn't stay. They were smooching. You know, they couldn't resist. Anna and Robert can resist like crazy.
Oh, yeah. I could
Yes.
see Anna just going, get off me.
But Sandra says, "Oh, hey, you know, if Diane ultimately loses, maybe this is Robert's opportunity to reassure her, and that can be the pathway to a reuniting. You know, it's all right. We don't
Yeah, I
already.
mean, Diane's not made out of stone, is
You know,
she?
or it's Killer Miller, not so much of a killer."
Hmm. I do like her. Didn't care for that belt she was wearing this week, though. Made me think that she should start, like, I don't know, dancing or something. I didn't dig it.
I don't know. Excuse me. But that Muldoon guy, he sure is a piece of trash, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's basically spent the last couple of months of his life trying to swindle money out of Finn and General Hospital.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm gonna I'm gonna say the wife is not privy.
Privy, like she didn't know.
Privy. I don't think she knew
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
he was up to, really.
So I
I
want to
don't
make sure
think
that we
she
understood she said privy and not pretty. You know, we're
Yeah, I
not
said
saying that
privy.
we don't think she's pretty.
No, no, that don't matter. Who
Yeah.
cares? I don't think she was privy to what her husband was up to, as
Mm-hmm.
far as, what he was trying to orchestrate the last couple of months of his life. I would be surprised if they write it that way, that she knew.
Well, maybe she'll find out and withdraw the case.
Oh, I think she'll have to.
You know, that way Diane can't. That way Diane doesn't have to lose. You know, it's just no
That's
longer a
true.
thing.
That's true. Maybe if he gets thrown out and never was, and is like, never happened.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she didn't.
Sandra says that the Muldoon story is so weird, and I've got an explanation for that. The writers came back and went, "Oh no, this story isn't working. Let's end it." And so we are rushing to the finish line.
Yeah, and so in some of the storylines, you can see that that is the case. They're just trying to wrap things up
Hmm. Yeah,
of that stuff.
yeah. So it looks like they're just trying to wrap this little part up here. Move on to something else with Finn and Elizabeth's lives. You know, I mean, it is what it is. I think that some of the commentary has been accurate out there. You know, we've never met the Muldoons. This kind of just
Mm-mm.
happened. We've only gotten Finn and Elizabeth kind of point of view when it comes to this entire story. It's very siloed. You know, it's like it's alone over
Well,
here.
I think it really does. I mean, the storyline. I mean, the Muldoons. We're going to figure it out there in a minute. In a minute,
Yeah.
and this is all wrapped up. It'll be over, and we won't even think about it again. But it does foster growth between Finn and Elizabeth,
Yeah.
as far as really being in each other's corner,
Oh yes.
really being able to,
Yet
the
another challenge for them to face together.
yeah, yes, a support system for each other that's
Yeah.
grounded and
Con-
for real.
continuing to be people that they can rely on.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and with this, before with Finn and Elizabeth 1.0, I wasn't a fan. With Finn and Elizabeth
2.0 good.
2.0, I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is it super like, oh, let's stand on the, be on the edge of our seat? No, it's not. It's
No.
not.
No, I don't think it's
But
about that.
no, but if they give them a storyline where they have to, like, outside of the small dog thing, but if they give them a storyline where they have to really, like, lean on each other and, like, I don't know, do something together and unity, other than, being a boyfriend and girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
it'll it'll it makes it more believable.
Well, I mean, who knows? You know, because I'm very hopeful for a Jason and his kids story. I don't know if anybody else is hopeful for that, but I am. Like, I want to see him interact with Jake and Danny, and I want to see the differences between Jake and Danny be very apparent and have that be some trouble that they have to work out in some sort of soapy dramatic fashion.
I actually want to see one of those teenage boys pop off at Jason.
Yeah, I want to see Jake be like, get out of here. You don't belong in this house
You don't
anymore.
care. You ain't been around. Even when you were around, you weren't around.
You weren't around. You hung out with Danny, got him almost blown up, and I hate you. Anyway, that sort of stuff. And with that would lend to some sort of Elizabeth involvement as well, and people can get some Elizabeth Jason interaction that they're so that they would love to see. And then that maybe Elizabeth can be facing something that Finn has to support her again through. That isn't sleeping pills that makes her attack Chase. Because that was all Finn and Liz 1.0, which I think that we're scrubbing from history.
Right, man. They got to put like industrial size scrubber on that.
It's exactly the biggest can of CLR that you've ever come across has just been dumped.
Oh my gosh, yes. The scrubber, yeah, like in industry, they have scrubbers on ceilings. They're actually just pulling all the fumes out and dissipating it.
Yeah.
Washing it, scrubbing it, and then dissipating it.
That's what you need.
Okay. That's the kind of level of scrubber they need for that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we need to do. So we need to have it all sucked out of the room.
Sucked out of the room.
Sucked out of the room. Since we're talking about 2.0s, we got another step forward with another 2.0 that we're excited for. The real 2.0. The Spixie 2.0.
I think we might get that.
So Spinelli moves into the house, and a couple of weeks ago we're like, oh yeah, all right, come on, knock on my door. We're gonna have some shenanigans and fall back in love. Yeah, right. And then this week they do the Cody thing, where Cody shows up, he's got a gift, their boots, and then Spinelli's like, listen, all right, we don't have room for a stepdad in this house, okay? Essentially is what he had to say. What are you doing here? Just go home, right? Go home. And Cody's like, whoa, buddy. Hey, man, I'm just here hanging out. I like I like kids. I like cowboy boots. It goes hand in hand. I'm fun Uncle Cody.
Maxie's my sister, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna be my sister in spirit, because Mac raised her and Mac's my daddy, And so, boom, hey, and so he's like, Spinelli, if you want to be with Maxie, I'm not in your way. Just go for it, buddy. And so I'm not sure if Spinelli, up until that point, realized that he had reawakening feelings. And I think that he might now, and I'm looking forward to some awkwardness. I want him to not know how to do anything anymore.
I would love to see Maxie and Spinelli get back together. I want Maxie and Spinelli to get back together and kind of be happy for a minute.
It's so weird, too, because it's not like they came together originally because they, really did like each other. It was, for show, right, originally?
Yeah, well, and, when Spinelli first came on, I believe he was smitten for Lulu big time. In the beginning.
And then they did the dirty one time and had a baby about it, and the rest is history. It's funny because Melissa says Spixie is the primary Maxie coupling for me. Spinelli is her true love. I like Nathan, and it was okay with Ellie. Oh, Ellie Spinelli.
Yeah.
But it's been always been Spinelli. So in her heart, Spixie is the coupling, and I agree with that. I barely have any experience really in seeing original Spixie, but there's something about those two, the fashionista and the super nerd, being soulmates. I think is just awesome.
Maximista and Spinelli are awesome.
The Maximista and the Jackal.
Yes, I love that. I always enjoyed them.
See, even Sandra
And
wants
remember,
to see
you guys remember their unwedding at the floating rib?
Their unwedding? It just sounds like something from Alice in Wonderland. Just Spinelli's just a fake creature. He's a fairy.
Spinelli is one of the most unusual soap opera characters I've ever seen.
He might be the most, like him and Susan Banks or whatever from Days of Our Lives. Elvish, her.
Yeah. Elvish.
And then I guess they had Patricia Darbo, I think her name was on those shows, and she's kind of a unique character actress too. So
Yes.
it sprinkles in there from time to time. For me, Spinelli is one of the most memorable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to just an awkward soap character, and I like that he understands that. And then a part of his whole shtick is that he's like, "Look at my face. Would you expect to see it on a soap? Nope."
Right. Right. Well, he does not look like a typical, and I know, people have said this to Bradford, and he takes it, with a light heart. But a lot of people have said to him, "Oh, you're a lot better looking in person than I thought you would be."
Well, Kaiwan theorizes that Spinelli, I think, was originally supposed to be killed off, but they liked him so much they kept him around. Plus, also the friendship that him and Steve Burton have, I think, has fueled a lot of the longevity of Spinelli.
I think so too.
Plus, they're so
I
good
think
together.
Steve Burton has advocated for him on
Yeah,
more
he's
than one
advocated for
occasion.
them. Also, too, when it comes down to it, they've got really good like friendship chemistry on the show. He brings out a different layer of Jason than any other character does.
They have a weird Laurel Hardy kind of thing.
Yeah, like like Jason is very much the straight man to Spinelli bouncing off the walls, but it works together. It's funny together.
Hmm.
It makes me think of, remember the movie Men in Black from like
Yes.
1996?
Oh yeah, with Tommy Lee
Yeah,
Jones and
Tommy Lee
Will Smith.
Jones and Will Smith are in it. And I remember them doing, how they did the interviews and they had the DVD extras and all that, promotional stuff. And I think we had the free pay-per-view at the time. And so there was all kinds of just previews and stuff constantly going. And Tommy Lee Jones was like, I love working on this movie. I love working with Will Smith because I don't have to do anything. Like, I'm funny in the fact that I am just standing there stoic while he is
He was
doing
the straight man.
his high energy Will Smith thing. But together it works and it's a funny duo because of that difference in energy. And I think that
Oh,
Jason and Spinelli do the same thing.
I know a little bit about being a straight man, you guys.
Do you? Wait, do you have a confession to make?
I am your straight man, Matt.
You're a straight man, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, I'm your
Didn't
straight
realize
man.
that you were a straight man. I thought you were my mother the whole time. I don't know how my mother's a straight man, but I'm with it. Oh goodness. Hey Daisy, how's it going, Daisy? Daisy's here.
Hi, Daisy.
All right, since Daisy's here, you know what we get to talk about next? Well, hey, you
Well,
know
what
what?
else you want?
Last thing, I'll read what Melissa said here before we move
Okay.
on. She said that Bradford brings out a natural levity to even the heaviest scenes. He has an eternal purity to him, even when he's doing morally gray things. Bradford gave Spinelli real depth while still keeping him light.
Oh, I think so. I think so too. I think Bradford, of course, they gave him a premise and they gave him some crazy dialogue.
And he ran with it and did
And
it
he
well.
ran with it and he made it his own. And Bradford Anderson, bravo, dude. I don't think anybody else could have done it any better.
So good work for you. And hey, I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you as time goes on and we get Steve Burton back, because the influence is clear. Spinelli had moved on and moved out and married Ellie until Steve Burton came back to the show, and then that relationship ended and he came back to town. So, just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. And I guess if you like those pairings, you can go find their podcast out there that they do every week. Daisy says Jason has 3 sons. I understand that Jason has 3 sons, but I only care about what's happening with 2 of them.
Okay.
I can't even think of who the 3rd son is, to be honest. Are you talking about Dex?
Well, he's got Danny.
He's got Jake and Danny.
Jake.
He's got Jake and Danny. I can't think of who his 3rd kid would be.
No, Rocco's not his.
No, because it's Danny and Scout is Sam's kids. She's only got 2, right? Just Danny and Scout. That's it. Sam, right?
Yeah.
So,
She got her kids are fathered by twin brothers.
Yeah.
They are brother, sister, cousins.
But their fathers are also genetically identical, so are they also like actually blood related, like full siblings?
Oh my!
Michael's
Kids
not
are lucky they
Jason's
don't have a
kid.
nose
Come
in the middle
on,
of their forehead.
Daisy. Michael is AJ's kid. That got the wrong Quartermain, Daisy. Got the wrong Quartermain.
Oh. Maybe it will turn out as Dex. Who knows?
Who knows? It might be Dex. I think that this is a strong likelihood. Listen, that's why they mistreated me so much. Is because I was adopted. I didn't know I was adopted, but that's why they were so mean to me when I was a kid. Because I'm really Dexter Quartermain. And then he's gonna go by Dexter because Dexter Quartermain is much better than Dex Quartermain. Wouldn't you want to work for a CEO named Dexter Quartermain? Sounds like a super nerd.
It sounds like a real, like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah. I mean, isn't the nerdiest name in the world Dexter Poindexter?
I don't even know where Poindexter comes from. I think that might actually be a real last name. You know, I should look it up. I should look up the etymology of why Poindexter is an insult. Jason's son is Mason. Come on now, Melissa, get out of here. You're drunk.
You're drunk. No, Mason has hung out there in Pittenville, you know.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about Daisy's favorite topic, which is Spencer, Trina, and Esme. So we're gonna get into that right now.
Okay.
I'm teasing her. I don't. That's not her favorite topic. So Esme remembers everything. She's an evil witch. She's knocking people out. She's going full now. She's one neck slice away from falling off of a cliff. As Carly debates whether or not to catch her. You know.
Yeah.
So I think that so a couple of things. Big news, everybody. If you haven't heard this, cover your ears if you don't want to know. We know the final air date for Nicholas Alexander Chavez. Cover your ears if you don't want to know, because I'm going to say it right now. It is January 31st.
It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Is going to be Spencer's last day, and it's not. And folks, I'm not here to tell you it's because they stopped showing scenes of Spencer and Trina in Paris. Something is going to remove Spencer from the show, and that something is Esme. And it's entirely possible that we might be losing Spencer and Esme from this. Now, I'm not talking about fact. I'm not talking about rumor mill. I'm not talking about any piece of information that I've come across. I'm just talking about what I think. I think Esme is going to take Spencer off of the show in some capacity, and Esme is going with him.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because she is, in my opinion, too far nuts to be the character that sticks around.
Oh, she is. I mean, she is so on a road of revenge right now that she's like a shark smelling water in the blood, you know, smelling blood in the water. She's so pinpointed on getting everybody back. Oh my gosh. You know, I thought her mom was going to have some big plan for her. I tell you what.
The big plan was catch my daughter before she ruins her life.
Exactly. Exactly. Even Heather, you know, summons Laura to asking her to come to the prison and talk to her. And basically all she said, Heather has made the most sense in the last week than I've ever heard Heather make.
Right?
You know, you always think that Heather's going to come up with some wackadoodle. I don't know, smother him with a BLT. She's going to come up with something crazy.
I mean, originally it was like, hey, run away so you can make some sort of wackadoodle plan, like smothering somebody with a BLT. But first you need to take a break and, you know, get away from the pressure, collect yourself. And Esme's like, no, you're stupid. Flips the table, shows her Ryan's side.
Yes. I tell you what, Heather Weber, even you need to be careful who you breed with, girl. Damn.
May that be a lesson to everybody. Be very careful with who you select as the father of your children, because you might wind up with an Esme. I mean, a little bit of wisdom there from Heather, but also still crazy criminal. You know, like her wisdom is catch her, so I can protect her in jail. Well, I can watch her. Like,
and it's not even and she's not telling her that in some kind of like personal gratification. Oh, I'm just going to have my daughter with me. Yay. I'll get to be with my daughter. No, she's like, place her in here with me where she doesn't die. Kind of thing.
Yeah, so something doesn't happen. Like, she might fall off the Eiffel Tower if she continues this. Is that what it's going to be? Spencer and Esme fight on top of the Eiffel Tower. They both tumble down and we can't find bodies.
Oh boy. Well, I'm sure going to be on the edge of my seat to see what happens.
Well, It's so weird because right now in the chat there's a handful of people being like, I like Esme, I don't want to lose Esme. Esme's great, da, 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 which is a passion that has been ignited here in the last couple of weeks because we were practically being like, Esme's not on the show anymore.
Yeah, we were like, oh, 2 weeks ago we were saying if they don't have to have Esme doing something different very soon, we are in the on the clip of Esme being boring.
Yeah, and then people were like, "Well, she's a great actress. I hope that they find something for her to do." But the passion of like, I like Esme. I want her to stay on the show. Really hasn't been there as much as it has been over the last couple of weeks, which is great for the content of the show. Good job creating a story that people are invested and interested in. But I don't see a path forward without a break. Honestly, I think that we'll see Esme again, but I think that we're going to not see her for a little bit here coming soon.
Yeah, and she's going to lean far into her crazy again, far into it.
Yes.
Man.
Things may even go as far as Spencer could be presumed dead, Mother.
Oh, I totally think so.
Yeah.
I totally think so, yeah.
What if she goes out like Ryan, like there's a bomb that goes off in some sort of fun house that everybody thinks that she died in. She and Spencer are dead in the explosion.
And there's no reason for if it turns out that way that they're going to have Spencer presumed dead. Wouldn't Nicholas want to go back home? Bring Ace back home?
Yeah, I would think so.
If there were no Spencer and there was
no room.
Spencer and Esme back there, there'd be no reason for him not to go back home.
Well, I mean, if Spencer's not going to be on the show anymore for whatever reason, then they got room. I know that the cast is big and anybody can slide into any position, but if they're intending on keeping the cast the same size it is, there's a male lead sized hole that could be filled with somebody like Nicholas coming back on a more regular basis.
Yeah, got Steve Burton filling that hole too, though.
Yeah, we do have Steve Burton coming back to fill that hole too. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know, man. I don't know. Spencer will be in a coma, declares Daisy. So, hey, we'll see. We already have one character in a coma. Will we have two? Time will tell. I don't know. Oh, I don't think that's going to happen, Leanne. Leanne's like, well, she's going to hold him as a doing it hostage. I don't think we're going to go there, Leanne, because that's like really unfortunate behavior.
Well, yeah, and how do you come back from that?
You don't, and then like that's like
ever redeem her in any way.
That's SA to an extreme. I just don't think we're covering that on soaps anymore. If this was 1984, absolutely.
Now,
not in 2024.
Is Esme has inherited some insanity. She really has.
Oh yeah, on two sides.
She has inherited some insanity, but she was, to me, she is one of Ryan's number one victims.
Bummer.
Ryan had a relationship with Esme only to manipulate her and get her to do crazy things.
Yeah, it's true.
He never really cared about her.
No, and now he's dead.
And now he's dead.
Or is he?
And I could totally see her not. And she knocked Uncle Kevin over the head. Well, she don't have no love for her dad at all because she knocked her Uncle Kevin over the head, and he's got the same face as her dad.
Oh yes.
She knocked Uncle. You know what that? It was that cylinder kind of piece of art with a hole in the middle.
Yes, you love it. Yes.
Yes. You know what it reminded me of, you guys? From the 70s. Do you guys remember like a little round princess kind of like phone? And it looked just like that. And the belly of it was a dial. And it looked just like that.
It's perfect for walloping somebody with, and that's exactly what Esme did. So do you think he's going to wake up as Ryan? It just knocks those false memories
No, I don't think he's going to wake up as Ryan, but I still would love that. I still want there to be a Ryan Kevin split personality, Jekyll and Hyde.
It's been so long since we heard about that potential storyline that unless they've really put it on ice and just are waiting for the right time to start it, I feel like it might have been squished.
It might have been, but man, I hope they unsquish it for John because John would eat that.
Well, I mean, the performance of, I mean, just the Ryan characters. Listen, I don't have the history of Kevin. I didn't see all of his romances with Lucy and his lead time on Port Charles and all that kind of stuff. So I don't have the history of Kevin. I've got what Kevin's been up to for the last 5 years. Kevin ain't up to nothing. He's super boring. Bring back Ryan. You know, like.
Well, I tell you who doesn't think he's super boring, Kevin, who doesn't think he's super boring. And that's one Miss Laura Collins does not think he's boring at all. She's
No.
crazy about him.
No, she thinks he's great.
When they told her, "Oh my gosh, Jeannie Francis, you're just so awesome. The way you would act with emotion and expression, just you could teach a class on it." Because when they told her, that Kevin's going to be okay, I mean, you could just see the air sucked out of her in relief, and
Yeah.
that her face just, oh my gosh, just such believable emotion and gratefulness and relief, and without saying a word.
Incredible seasoned veteran is what she is.
Yes, she is. And
So-
anybody that gets to do a scene with her, as an actor, you've got to be so lucky because she make it easy.
Super easy.
She make it easy. She's a Maura West when it comes to that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
just always
like,
bringing out the best in her scene partners.
always bringing out the best in their scene partner.
Yes, yes. Good job, Jeannie Francis. High five if I ever see you one day. I'm going to be like, high five, Jeannie. For being great. And also being married to Commander Riker. That's another high five right there. All right. I want Jonathan Frakes on General Hospital. When are we going to do that? Come on, Jonathan Frakes. I need you to beam in, buddy. Oh, goodness. Elegant remembers those princess phones you were talking about.
Yeah, little roundy things.
Yeah, the little round ones.
Yeah, I mean, that traditional princess phone, but this one was a 70s kind of thing, and it was tubular like that. Tubular, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if they would have just made it like bright yellow or orange, it would have been even more 70s.
Yes, that's what we need. We just needed an orange and maybe some avocado green somewhere else.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what we need. That's what we need. Well, Melissa thinks that Esme can still be redeemed even after all of this stuff that's heating up and everything that's going down. She thinks that there's still some room for Esme maybe turning a little bit into more of a neutral or softer character. I think that's farther out.
Well, I think that's possible too. But if she does something really crazy in the next 2 weeks, maybe not.
Yeah, it really depends. Like Nell is a great example. People like to say Carly. I can't use Carly as an example because I wasn't watching in 1995 when she came on. I can't really judge how horrible of an action she took and all that kind of stuff.
She was pretty bad.
I understand that she was pretty bad, but I don't have that to compare to what it is that like Nell and Esme have been up to. From my understanding, she came in, she was kind of a B word to people. She slept with Tony and was a B word to people and was a B word to people and was a B word to people. But
pretty much,
it's not like she was planting cameras to record two people doing it and putting it on the internet. She wasn't dropping drugs in a hot toddy to get somebody to pass out. I mean, she might have encouraged AJ to drink. She lied about who the baby daddy was. But I mean, we're talking about two different categories of villainy.
Yeah, I mean, one is like emotionally damaging, but the other is like physically forever damaging.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It's hard to relate simply because I haven't seen the Carly stuff myself to be able to make my own judgment. I really only have everybody else's reaction to it and to go off of. But I did see Nell, so I can compare it to Nell. And Esme is not as bad as Nell.
Not yet.
Because Nell slashed throats. Nell threw herself down the stairs. Nell like put her baby in danger to get to Carly by doing that. Full on pregnant, throwing herself down a flight of stairs and just crossing her fingers that everything's gonna be okay. But like, I haven't seen Esme do that kind of stuff. I really feel as though there is a ledge for her to still step back from.
Well, the second time she went off the parapet, she dove off.
Yeah, she did that on purpose, but but it wasn't let me do this to stick it to somebody. It was, this is my choice. I can either do this and hope for the best and have my freedom, or I can grow up in this effing tower and maybe one day get killed by Nicholas.
Right, because she really did believe that once she actually had the baby, Nicholas would just kill her.
Right. So like I can understand that mindset. Would I have made the
Mhm.
exact same choice? I can't say because I haven't lived it, nor am I pregnant. But uh, but I can understand. It's like Carly, for example, holding back the information from Nina about who her kids are on two
Mhm.
occasions. She had logically understandable reasons for making that poor choice,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know. And so I can kind of relate the same thing to Esme's situation of throwing herself off the parapet.
Mhm.
That's not to say that I think that she's good. I don't, you know, she hasn't done bad things. She doesn't deserve to be punished by the law. Of course she does. But I do think that there still is a little bit of a ledge for her to step back from that she hasn't fallen off of yet.
Mhm.
But it really, really, really does depend on what happens in the next couple of weeks. If she's
Mhm.
you know, if she sets off a bomb in some sort of Paris bistro and kills 6 people, you know, that's different.
Yeah. She does something like that, she ought to just cut off her hand and lean all the way
Just
into
lean
being a
all the way
lion's
into it,
daughter.
right? So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Melissa also brings up a couple of examples of characters that may have been redeemed, specifically Franco and Luke, depending, you know, on some of their early activities. Um,
Rico, especially, yes.
you know, yeah, yeah, but also at the same time, not redeemed enough to still be alive on the show.
Right.
You know.
The folks
uh,
have changed.
yeah, you know, they had a span of time in which the characters were active on the show, but both of those actors are dead on the show now because of who they used to be. Like, you know, I'm not going to pretend like I don't know why they wrote off those characters,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Harley basically never really stopped being a bad guy. Is that who you were getting so popular technically made our hero? I'm not sure who you're talking about, Kaiwan. But Sprina did make it to Paris, and they've already left their stains on the sheets.
I'm sorry?
I said Sprina made it to Paris, and they've already left their stains on the sheets.
They sure did. I think they have more than one wet spot, actually.
Yeah, and apparently Spencer giving this baby to Nicholas just had Sprina's totally okay with it, and that's surprising to me.
I was kind of surprised with her reaction, actually. I thought she would have made a little more big deal of it.
Yeah,
I've been a little more disappointed in his actions.
yeah. Like, how could you just suddenly give this kid away to somebody who's never met them, somebody that you yourself have said is dangerous and no good and the worst father and unworthy of your love, and also like I watched you go through this torture with Nicholas. What do you mean you gave Ace to him? That was the expectation that I had.
Yeah. But I think everybody is kind, especially now that they know it, but in the beginning they didn't. I think everybody, including Trina, was like, okay, yeah, well, you're protecting him against Esme because Esme is back to her old self. Now, if Esme had not given any indication that she had her memories back
Mm-hmm.
and his ears hadn't have perked up with the whole Spence thing,
He would not
I
have
don't
given
think
that
I
baby
don't
away.
think I don't think that people would have reacted the same way. But you know, um, but it because of the fact that she has her memories, it removes her as a victim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, I agree. You know, it's tough. It's tough because if you do just compare her to the last year, then they've done something terribly wrong to this poor woman. But if you
Mhm.
compare it to the last 3 years, it's a little more even in the grand scope and scheme of
Yes,
things.
it does lend to actually the baby being protected.
Yes, yeah, from crazy Esme. But then also, if you flip that coin, Esme, even when she originally had her memories and didn't lose them, didn't show signs of being a danger to the baby. She took
No,
those
she never
vitamins.
has. She looked more with as far as like the baby and her having her regard for the baby. Back when she was calling him her ace in the
Ace in the
hole,
hole. Yeah.
well, she wasn't a good mom then. But actually, since she actually had the baby,
Mm-hmm.
and when she had the baby, she didn't have her memories.
Mm-mm.
She's actually been a wonderful, caring mother. That what they've chosen to show us, she's a wonderful mother.
But then also at the same time, as soon as she got her memories back, she is not spending any time with that kid anymore. she's visiting this person, doing that person, manipulating this, getting involved in that, even to the point where Spencer's like, "Why are you okay? I mean, oh yeah, I'll keep him continue, but
Yeah.
this is weird. Lady are usually around more."
Yeah, because she was busy hatching plans.
And not spending the time with Ace. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, maybe there's an indication there. So we're just gonna have to see what happens over the next couple of days, as we get
Mm-hmm.
closer and closer. Final air date of one Mr. Spencer Cassadine, as played by Nicholas Alexander Chavez, who's currently filming Monster for Netflix.
And it'll be interesting, you guys, to see. Wednesday may be this last time we ever see Nicholas Chavez play Spencer.
I'm gonna go out on a
Might be
limb.
the last we ever see of him.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think this is going to be the last time that we see this actor play this role.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. For one thing, this project Monsters is going to take a while.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how long the scheduling is planned, but I mean, it's not like Ryan Murphy has to make a fast show.
No, and I'm sure isn't his contract up next month, February?
I heard February. Other people heard summer. I don't know what the truth is because I've never seen it. So
Well, I know
I don't
that
know.
even if he does return, he ain't going to be signing no contract.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that his time in daytime for now is done. But this is just me thinking. I really have no idea. But what I do know is I agree with somebody else that I was talking to online about the situation. Is that after the 31st, like February 1st, for example, if they already know that Chavez isn't going to be re-signing, if this is going to be, if this contract is going to expire during this hiatus, then I really think that they should say something earlier rather than later. Just so there isn't months of people waiting for news, hearing it, and being majorly disappointed.
Well, I don't think they're going to give us that. I don't.
Mergnesia was coined on another podcast. Mergnesia? I don't know what that means, Melissa. Mergnesia. I don't know. But yeah, I think Chavez is
like the two parts coming together.
And then Nesia, I don't understand. Explain it to me. The two part. Are we talking about Ryan and Kevin? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about. Melissa, just making your own podcast in the chat room. What's going on? Kevin got knocked out. We'll see. Well, he'll be okay. Whiplash Laura is what I wrote down because she, in the matter of like 2 days, she went, "What? Esme's fine. You gave the kid away to. Oh my god. Yeah, burn down the city to find her."
Yeah, she did, and she feels so bad about it too. Like she really. Laura feels bad. Like I'm surprised she hoodwinked me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Wool over my veteran eyes. I've been in the soap land for 50 years. How could she get one past me like that?
Mm-hmm. Kind of like that.
Jeannie suggests they might already be trying to recast Spencer. Who knows? I guess it really depends on what the plans are for the characters and the characters that surround Spencer as well. It's not always just about what Spencer does. All of these characters make a splash and a ripple throughout other characters on the canvas. And so, a character can't exist in a vacuum. Just because you want to see Spencer, if they don't have other characters in a place that can interact with him, then you have somebody who's constantly wiping down the bar, not doing anything as people come to visit him to tell him about their woes, And is that what we want?
Yeah. I mean, I would agree that, they'll keep it relevant and stuff for his return.
Mm-hmm.
However, you guys, we got big Steve Burton coming back.
Yeah. He's going to eat up a lot of screen time.
That's going to take airtime.
That's going to take airtime. Yep. It's significant airtime too, because he's a very popular character. Don't be convinced by Twitter about who's popular and who's not. I guarantee you there is not a wasted dollar on General Hospital when it comes to the investment of their actors, and they are earning the pay that they get based off of the viewership and ad revenue that is generated from them being on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that too, I should also point out for anybody wondering if character appearances may be changing under the new writers, and the answer is no.
It's not the same negotiation.
Yeah, that sort of stuff is negotiated by the agents, by the producers, by the people who are drawing up the contracts and offering, hey, we'll offer you X amount of money for this amount of episodes. Does that sound fair? I want to work less episodes for more money, and the negotiation until they come up with an agreement. All right, we will guarantee you this amount of money, and we will also say that you're going to be on this many episodes. Frank Valentini does not waste any money. So that means that he's not going to underuse somebody's guarantee because they have already paid them.
Loves him so stinking much.
Yes, exactly. They basically guaranteed to pay this actor this amount of money, whether or not they show up the 180 times, for example. So that means that Frank is going to use them 180 times because that's how much he's paid for. On top of that, too, he's not going to have them on 185 times because that's a bigger investment that they didn't sign off on, and he's not going to spend the extra money. So what the new writers can do is give you something that you might be more interested in, but you're still going to see them as often as you do now.
And we should start seeing scripts written by the new writers around March, right?
Yeah, give it a couple of months. I don't know what it's different than the strike. When the strike was on, they kind of owed it to the showrunners to follow their plan up until they ran out of the plan. They don't really owe the previous showrunners that anymore, or the previous head writers that anymore. So these two, Elizabeth and Patrick, I think their names are. Right, Elizabeth Corte and Patrick.
I don't think her last name is Corte.
No, it's not Corte. It's Corte. Is it somebody else? Whatever. You tell me, everybody, who the writers are. These two people who are taking over the book, they could immediately cut all that stuff and throw it out and say, no, we're going to go in 18 completely new directions. There's going to be a twist and turn in every single one of these stories, revealing something about them that hasn't been true this entire time, but it's true now. That could happen across the board. I don't know. But it is going to take a couple of months because they have to plan it, tell people about it, rework it based off of notes, tell ABC, rework it based off of notes, write it, rewrite it.
Yes.
Create the props, build the sets, sew the costumes, tell the actors they have to be there on that day, shoot it. So it's going to be a couple of months.
It's not going to be overnight. That's for sure. Because it just can't be.
No. There's a pipeline. There's a whole pipeline. Like when we were talking to Fido, Fido Xavier, director on General Hospital, he's been on the podcast, giving us a little bit of slice of his experience. Like he has scripts in his hands for things that they're going to shoot next month.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
So that just goes to show
and it's ABC and Disney really pay attention, and they don't let anything go by and not know what's on the page. They know.
Oh yes.
And they want changes and edits on the regular.
Yeah. Because ultimately it's broadcast on their networks and their standards, their practices, what they want to have represented on their channel.
They want to make sure that General Hospital kind of reflects their brand to a certain degree.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to be completely off on its own. It would be different if it was live. If it was live, it'd be less.
Oh my
approved.
gosh! Can you imagine? I would. Well, it'd be fun just for this. Can you imagine Ken Schreiner live? Oh,
it's good business. It's good business. Wow. We're approaching 1 o'clock here. That was our hard stop time because we've been talking all morning.
We have been talking all morning.
We had the potential to talk until 6 p.m. tonight. I don't know if I want. I don't want to torture people like that. So we're not going to do that.
No, we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that. But you know what, Ma? There was so much that we didn't talk about that next week is going to be super awesome and packed with detail because we got to talk about things like Jordan and the FBI.
Yeah.
Carly and Drew starting a magazine, Valentine and Nina starting a magazine, Magazine Wars 2024 So dumb. I'm going to say it, Ma. It's dumb.
It's silly.
It's so dumb to me.
You know what she ought to do that would just be a little more to goat Carly? Have a little diner right down the frickin' street.
Just open it across the street.
Yeah.
Call it Madeline's. Bobby's versus Madeline's. That'd be more interesting. Who can make the best sauce? At least that would take it in a direction that I'd be more interested. Again, magazine people, singers, that sort of stuff, I don't find those to be really engaging soap careers for me. So, and also it's 2024. Not to beat a dead horse over the head with this year that we're in or anything, but rival
Besides,
magazines.
Soap Opera Digest is not even in print anymore. Who cares about Crimson?
Sports Illustrated just announced they're not going to print magazines anymore. Like it's not the time for magazine wars.
You ain't gonna find your dad's Playboys anytime soon either.
No,
because they've been out of print forever.
It's too easy to find on Google now, So anyway, so yeah, Melissa also pregnant. Christina, Curtis can feel his feet. All kinds of stuff.
You know what cracked me about that scene with Curtis and his feet?
What's that?
They didn't need no doctor to stick him in the bottom of the foot with a pin.
No.
Aunt Stella could have done that.
Yeah, I'm like,
hey, you feel that? Conk.
Listen, I've never been to this surgery. I'm not a spinal surgeon. I don't understand how all of this stuff works. I haven't done the years of research, but I would think
they got a big old giant diaper pin.
yeah, and then they poked him with it. I saw it. But when they were doing that, I was thinking like, if they can poke him on the bottom of the foot, and he's like, I can feel that. How did he not feel the blanket over his feet the entire time before the doctor walked in? I don't understand it myself. So if you're a spinal surgeon or a brain surgeon,
this would have
neurologist, let me know.
Kind of fun if he would have said to Portia, "Can you get that blanket off my feet? It just feels too hot." And she's like, "Huh?
Ooh, that would be good, Ma." And then he doesn't quite realize it. He just, it's like, oh man, my feet are hot. Can you take the blanket? Oh, that's brilliant. No wonder Remington Hoffman thinks we should write for soaps.
Like I said, Aunt Stella could have stuck him in the bottom of the foot with a pin. They didn't need a doctor for that.
Now that is brilliant, Melissa. Melissa says Crimson TV, and that's what it is. Carly becomes a Home and Heart host. Carly starts her own show. Carly in the afternoon, like Drew Barrymore.
Oh, remember when Erica Kane had a talk show?
Yeah, I mean, I'm for that because then we can get somebody on the show, and then they get in a fight like Jerry Springer, and they fight over the desk. That'd be fun. That's it though. That's it.
I'm they need to do something. They need to do something for them just to create a magazine that's in print. I mean, why don't you just start a newspaper? Yeah, circulation's high on those too.
I'm gonna have the best paper route. I'm gonna deliver more papers than that dang Carly. So anyway, that's it. I'm getting off the 10th floor. I've been talking all morning. So go back to the beginning of the day, folks. We started with Days for Dummies, went into an interview, a very fun interview with Remington Hoffman. It was good. It was not awkward. It was good conversation with just lots of fun little anecdotes about just life and living
and next week we're going to try to do it again with somebody else.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. I didn't push that at all. Next week, everybody, join us again at 11 a.m. the normal time here on the 10th Floor Podcast, as we're going to have Tanisha Harper with us, who plays Jordan Ashford, who is working with the FBI and flirting with Stephen A. Smith and all kinds of different stuff. And so there's going to be some fun things to talk about.
Extra flirty right now. He said, "Don't lose my number, girl."
Don't lose my number, baby. So we're gonna talk with Tanisha Harper next week, right here live on YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to Tanisha, but we're actually gonna do the 10th floor as well.
Yeah, same thing.
After we're done with Tanisha, we're gonna keep on talking.
Yeah, so same thing next week that we did this week. We're gonna do Days for Dummies. We're gonna talk to Tanisha. We're gonna do some 10th floor, and we're gonna call it a great Sunday.
Yep.
So that's it, folks. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, leave a comment if you could, please. It really does help the algorithm and makes it look like, it doesn't even make it look, it makes it so the video has engagement with it, and YouTube feels as though more people might want to be interested in listening to what we have to say. YouTube is also super smart, knowing that we are a soap opera podcast, so the more you interact with it, the more it's going to be shown to people who like soap operas.
Yes. Do you know when you go on YouTube right now for the 10th floor, you know what I noticed, Matt? Maybe you noticed it too. Okay, so when I go on YouTube, 10th floor comes up. The leading video before it was how to make a podcast.
Well, hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Because they know we're just regular old slumps that didn't know how.
Yeah. And so they're like, she'll click on this. She doesn't know what she's doing. She needs guidance. The same thing, the more you interact with the channel, the more, if you, that's the super thanks in the super chat as well. If you chip $3, then it just makes us look good as well. And eventually you're going to see an upgrade. right around here. If you continue to do that. Buymeacoffee.com as well is another good way to contribute to the show. Marianne Woods, thank you so much for the donations that you've made there recently. Wonderful. Amazing. Like us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at 10th Floor GH. Talk about soaps all week long. Follow the Instagram as well. I have the little Instagram. There's a YouTube. There's a Facebook. You know, we're on the socials. What can I say? Just not TikTok.
We're on the socials.
I should TikTok every day, being like, GH, Days of Our Lives.
Well, I've thought about it.
We'll see. We'll figure it out as time goes on. But past that, there's that merch shop. There's the printify.me/10th-floor. Come back next week. Chandra will give you the links. I think that pretty much covers the bases.
I think so.
I think so too. So, get on an elevator. We're going back down to the first floor. We're going to go into the parking garage and find our cars. Turn our radios to previous episodes of the 10th floor, which you can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you cannot find us on your favorite podcasting platform, reach out to us on Twitter at 10th floor GH and I will point you in the right direction.
Yep.
And that's it. Go spend some time with your families. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll catch you next time right here on the 10th floor. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.